MrBeast doesn't deserve this. What's poppin', my slimes? waccd here. Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a Twitter strand that was on my timeline, and it has to do with MrBeast and why he's quote-unquote a bad person. Now, if you've ever watched MrBeast, you know damn well he's not a bad person. This man's gave away more money to charities than I will ever make in my entire life, probably combined with your money. With that, where there's good, there always has to be bad, and there's always people on the dumb bird app trying to cancel people for literally breathing air. Also, towards the end of the video, I have someone else in the commentary community give me their opinion, and let me just say, it is very political, so make sure to stick around till then. Also, consider subscribing. It's totally free, and you can unsubscribe later. My Twitter and Discord are both the link in the description. Without any further ado, let's get straight into this hellhole. So like I mentioned, I'm a big fan of Jimmy, aka MrBeast, and that's not to say that he hasn't done anything controversial in the past. You and I both agree MrBeast is not perfect. Hell, neither you or I are perfect. No one's really perfect, and some of the things MrBeast has done in the past are suspicious. However, I don't think it's cancelable whatsoever. With that, I found someone on Twitter with such dumb takes that I can make an entire video clowning on him. And half of this person's argument, everyone else's argument about MrBeast is, oh, he made offensive jokes back in 2013. Bro, every single human being made offensive jokes back in 2013 because the internet wasn't as soft as a marshmallow. Hey MrBeast, please address all of this. Ableism. You donated $25,000 to Next for Autism on Mark Rober's livestream. This charity is widely hated by the autistic community and supports ABA therapy. It is looking for a cure for autism and supports eugenics. There you have it, guys. MrBeast is canceled for donating to an autism charity. On a serious note, let's take a deeper dive into why this person thinks donating to a charity for autism is bad. Argument number 1, the autistic community hates it, and I cannot say whether or not that's true considering I'm not a part of the community. However, if I have any autistic viewers, please comment down below what you think. And before I address the other two arguments, I just thought of this. Mark Rober's the one that hosted this entire event, and Mark Rober has an autistic child. I don't know why he'd do this if he thought it was bad. And I hate to make assumptions, but I doubt that this post is coming from an autistic person. Either way, they also say that ABA therapy is bad, and ABA therapy applies our understanding of how behavior works to real situations. The goal is to increase behaviors that are helpful and decrease behaviors that are harmful or affect learning. Now, this doesn't sound bad whatsoever, so I went ahead and clicked the little tab below it which says, why ABA therapy is bad, ? And let's see what that has to say. In short, ABA is safe, highly beneficial therapy, but if the therapist is not properly trained or attuned to the child, the therapist could inadvertently make target behaviors worse or lead to the creation of new problem behaviors. Now, in order for me to say whether or not this is bad in my opinion, I'd have to know the percentage of bad therapists that go into this therapy. And for me to make my final judgment on whether or not ABA therapy is bad, I'd have to know the ratio of good therapists to bad. Because if that ratio is something like 99.999 to 0.0001, then I'm not going to question it. But if it's like a 50-50 chance, then sure, okay, ABA therapy is not good. And the last thing is eugenics. Let's see what that is. So I was taking a look at what eugenics were, and it turns out they're abolished. And I find it really weird that Mark Rober, I think one of the smartest YouTubers, would donate to a charity which supports something that's been abolished. And a nice summary of what eugenics are is basically selective breeding. Breeding the ones that are strong, breeding the ones that are tall, breeding the ones that are blonde. I don't know, that's basically how I'd summarize it. Also, the definition is on screen if you want to pause and make your own opinion out of it. So yeah, I agree, eugenics are bad, but where does this charity openly say we support eugenics? Especially if this shit was abolished, I don't think that a charity that was donated to by Mark Rober himself and MrBeast would openly support it. And then they link a strand, and I went through it real quick, and I want to point out something that really pisses me off. This remark right here, most autistics do not want a cure for autism. We do not need a cure for autism. It is a part of our identity. See blog for more info. And this is the biggest speak for your self moment ever. Quick personal story time from waccd. I have a really good friend. He's probably the nicest person I know, and his brother is really autistic. He ranks highly on the scale, and they're trying to teach him sign language due to him being so antisocial. And I'd bet you every single dime that's to my name that this kid, his brother, would give literally anything to be normal and fit in. There are people that are neurodivergent that are totally fine with how they are. Some people are medicated for how they are, and some people literally cannot fit in with society because how they are. And you have the nerve to speak for those who can't. And while I'm also speaking for those that can't, please think of other people in the situation. You're talking of those that are very lightly affected by autism. When it comes to individuals that literally cannot communicate with anyone other than family, and they rarely communicate with family because of how autistic they are, you may think differently. I can barely get through a day without speaking to one single person, and I can't imagine what it's like to be kept to myself, all in my brain, all by myself. And the fact your ass has a Twitter account, and your ass has the capability to speak out on a Twitter account and try to speak for those that can is unbelievable to me. The difference between me and you is you're not sympathizing for those that are more affected by autism than you. I've worked with so many people that have special needs, and the mere fact you think that people don't want to get rid of their special needs hurts me internally. I hate to reiterate, but there's a humongous difference between those that are lightly affected and severely affected. God, now that I've got that out of the way, this person also says that you have called people on your staff the R slur, and have treated people you work with horribly. Funniest thing ever, you're a little bit behind considering I remember watching a video, oh, MrBeast treated me so horribly, and then this guy was exposed for straight up lying. And even people that have left the MrBeast squad like Viking, and I'm pretty sure his name was Garrett, they didn't have any complaints. Hell bro, when my friend buys me a 2021 Lamborghini Aventador, I don't think I'd have any complaints either. Transphobia. You made an entire video mocking trans people and started a huge wave of transphobic jokes that follow us to this day. And if you don't know what this person's referring to, they're talking about MrBeast making an attack helicopter joke, and let me just say right now, I'm guilty of doing the same. I have zero problems with LGBTQ+ and trans people. I have no issue with them, but back in 2016, I made those jokes not knowing what I was saying. My buddies and I basically made those jokes just to have a good laugh because that's all we were thinking of back then, not if we were gonna get cancelled on Twitter years later. I'm also gonna add the fact that I have not made jokes like that since I couldn't sit in the front seat. And I guarantee you that MrBeast did not mean to offend a bunch of trans people from this joke, considering it was widely accepted back then, and also MrBeast isn't the one that started this wave of jokes. He simply made a joke revolving around the topic back in 2016, yet you continue to pursue the argument. Goddamn, people on Twitter act like no one ever changes in their life. Like seriously, I made those jokes about attack helicopters back when I was 10 years old. I'm now damn near 16 in 2 days, and I have not made a joke like that since. 1, I don't find it funny anymore. 2, it's more of a sensitive topic than it was back then. People grow up, people mature. That's something people on Twitter do not comprehend. Then this person goes on to show a transgender person's opinion on the jokes, and this person says, the issue with MrBeast's transphobic joke, the attack helicopter thing, is that although it was extremely normalized back then, and to an extent so was saying slurs, it isn't automatically excusable. That joke is genuinely invalidating, and it's annoying as hell that he was able to say it and get away with it even now. Get away with it? Do you want him behind bars? God, I don't like repeating myself, but he's grown up. He's donated more money to charity than you will ever donate to charity in your life. It's not excusable, you say. Okay, then let's put this into perspective. 1, it was from over 5 years ago. 2, he deleted the video knowing that the joke was stale and totally offensive to people nowadays. If MrBeast were to make that joke today, sure man, you can go ahead and try to cancel him, although this was not today. I understand that this joke can be invalidating, but he hasn't made it in a while and he hasn't tried to make it anytime soon. So yeah, he should be held accountable, but I think he's accounting for what he's done. That's just my opinion. Let me know what your opinion is in the comment section below. Leave a comment saying PugChamp and I'll heart your comment. I know it may not be the time to say that, but go ahead. I genuinely think MrBeast is a good person. I don't think what he's done in the past should facilitate how he's treated today. Oh, and that commentator I mentioned earlier, he's also neurodivergent, and he sent his message over Discord DMs. Let's see what he has to say. I didn't lie guys, he got political on me, although he was totally politically correct. So yeah, that's a wrap for this video. I named this video MrBeast Does Not Deserve This because I don't think he deserves the backlash he's getting today for the things he's done in the past. I may have covered way more sensitive topics in this video, but the underlying thing that I need to state is MrBeast does not deserve the hate he's getting. Whether or not you agree with what I've said in this video, please agree with that. Thank you all for watching this far. Leave a like on the video so it gets pushed out into the algorithm. Have a blessed day, do something productive, subscribe maybe, adios amigos.